Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Let's start paper 5 of Planning Analysis and Evaluation of A-Level, October-November 2025, variance 51. All right, so let's start with the paper. Let's see what we have in it. Okay. The concentration of aqueous chloride can be found by titration with aqueous silver nitrate, and the ionic equation for this reaction is going to be like this, which we have done in group 17 element in AS chemistry, all right? Or in other words, in A1 chemistry. The indicator used is aqueous potassium chromate 6. By the way, potassium chromate 6 has a yellow color. And we did this also in AS. So chromate 6 signs has yellow color, while dichromate 6 signs has orange color. You need to remember that, okay? As silver nitrate is added to aqueous chloride, white precipitates of silver chloride is formed. That's what we have done in AS also. You have done this whole thing in O level also. When all the chloride ions have reacted, further addition of silver nitrate leads to the formation of red precipitates of silver chromate. All right, that's very, very important that silver chromate has red precipitates. So color changes from yellow to red precipitate. The first appearance of the red precipitate shows the end point of the titration. That's very, very appropriate sort of information, which we need to consider them later on when we'll solve the questions in the later parts. Okay. A student carries out an experiment to determine the number of molecules of water of crystallization, which is represented by X in hydrated barium chloride dot XH2O. Okay. The student makes 250 cm cube of 0.05 mole per dm cube silver nitrate to use for the titration. Calculate the mass of solid silver nitrate, AgNO3, needed to make 250 cm cube of this concentration of AgNO3. Your answer to 2 decimal places. Okay. That's nice. So we know the concentration and we know the volume. That means by using this two values, I can find the moles of silver nitrate. 250.0 into 0.0500. So to get the moles, we need to divide these two values by 1000. 250 into 0.05 divided by 1000 is going to be 0.0125 moles. Okay. Take out the MR of silver nitrate because we need to find out the mass of solid silver nitrate. Okay. So silver has a mass of 108 plus nitrogen is 14, oxygen is 16 times 3. So the MR is going to be 16 times 3 plus 14 plus 108. So it's going to be 170. So we know the moles, we know the MR. Multiplying these two values, I'll get the mass. So 0.0125 into 170. 0.0125. Oh, my bad. 0.0125. So it's going to be 2.215 gram. An examiner is looking for 2 decimal places. So the answer is going to be 2.12. So sorry. Oh, my bad. It's 2.125 gram. So I'm going to write 2.12. Okay. I hope it makes sense to you. So A part 1 is very simple, very straightforward. Next part. Describe how the student should make 250 cm cube of 0.05 mole per dm cube silver nitrate, starting from the mass of silver nitrate calculated in A1 in a 50 cm cube beaker. Give the name and size of any key apparatus used. Write your answer using a series of numbered steps. Okay. And we have 3 marks for this part. So we have done this part in the previous year so many times that I believe you should have an idea how to go about such sort of um, planning. So first of all, add a small amount of distilled water in a 50 cm cube beaker. Next, add 2.12 gram of silver nitrate in it, and then stir the mixture or stir the solution to mix well. Transfer this solution in a 250 cm cube volumetric flask. Wash the beaker with distilled water. And transfer this washing in a volumetric flask. Okay. Make up the solution. Not make up, top of the solution until 250 cm cube mark reached. And I believe we need to top up the solution with distilled water. Okay. Top up the solution with distilled water until 250 cm cube mark reached. Now the next point is stopper the flask and invert the flask to mix well. Multiple times to mix well. Okay. So that's the end of, I believe, a part 2. Let's move on to the next page. That's the method. Okay. By the way, dissolve 1.58 gram of hydrated barium chloride to form 250 cm cube of aqueous solution. Label this solution A. Okay. Um, Transfer 220 cm cube of solution A into the conical flask. So technically, we have a conical flask here, and in this flask, we have this barium chloride. Okay. So we have barium chloride in it. And how much amount we have? 20 cm cube. So how could we measure this volume? By using volumetric pipette. All right. Now in the next part, aqueous sodium sulfate is added into the flask and swirl the mixture. Okay. Now we need to add sodium sulfate. Why are we adding sodium sulfate? So that barium sulfate is formed, so that this barium ion cannot interfere with the chromate ions. All right. And as a result of that, we'll get the white precipitates here. So I'm going to write white precipitates here. I'm going to, in fact, make white precipitates. These are the white precipitates. Oh my goodness, I cannot see them. These are the white precipitates. Okay. My bad. These are the white precipitates of barium sulfate. Now the main thing is why we need to swirl the mixture for complete reaction or for complete precipitation or for complete removal of barium ions. You can write any of the reason, right? For complete precipitation, for complete removal of barium ions, for complete reaction. These are the possible answer for this specific part of the statement. Oh, to remove barium ions from the solution. Examiner ne khud bhi keh diya, okay? Add 2 to 3 drops of potassium chromate indicator to the conical flask. All right. Titrate the content of the flask against 0.5 mole per dm cube silver nitrate. Obviously, this silver nitrate has to be in the burette. ओके गाइस, कुछ नोट किया आपने? आपके पास बेरियम क्लोराइड था यहाँ, राइट? आपने उसमें सोडियम सल्फेट ऐड किया, बेरियम सल्फेट बन गया, बेरियम आयंस रिमूव हो गए. सो दिस सॉल्यूशन कंटेन ओनली क्लोराइड आयन. सो व्हेन यू ऐड सिल्वर नाइट्रेट इन इट फ्रॉम द burette, obviously precipitation of silver chloride takes place, and from that precipitation or from that specific part of that reaction, I can find the concentration of chloride ion. Okay, and that was the whole experiment we were talking about. Okay, suggest a suitable piece of apparatus to measure 20 cm cube. Volumetric pipette. Suggest why barium ions are removed in step 3 before performing the titration. To avoid the reaction between barium ions and chromate ions. Suggest why chemical resistant gloves should be want to carry out step 4. What was happening in the step 4? Oh, add potassium chromate. The potassium chromate is basically um, an oxidizing agent. So it is basically corrosive, and also it is an irritant also. So it is an irritant because it is corrosive. Okay. The results are shown in the table 1.1. So these are the initial burette readings. These are the final burette readings. These are the titer values. Okay. The student uses the titer from titration 2 and titration 3 shown in table 1.1 to calculate the mean titer value of 20.65. So when we use titration 2 and titration 3, I've got this mean titer volume, okay, which I'm going to use later in the calculations, obviously. Explain why only these two values are used, because these two values are the concordant readings and the difference of 0.1 cm cube only. These are the concordant readings. Of a difference of 0.1 cm cube. 20.7 minus 20.6. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to the next page. Calculate the percentage error in the titer volume for titration 3. So the single burette reading error is basically 0.05. We usually take two readings, initial and final. So the single burette reading error needs to multiply by 2 divided by the volume in titration 3, which was 20.60, to get the percentage into 100. So it's basically 1 divided by 20.6 into 100. So it's basically 0.4854%. Okay. Next part. The equation for the reaction between silver nitrate and barium chloride is shown. Calculate the amount in moles of silver nitrate in the mean titer value of this. Okay. So the mean titer value was 20.65. In this volume, I need to find the moles. And for that, we should know the concentration of silver nitrate, which is, I believe, given in the question. This is the concentration of silver nitrate, 0.05. Okay. So the concentration of silver nitrate is 0.05. The mean titer value is 20.65 divided by 1000. So the moles is going to be 65 divided by 1000. So moles is going to be 1.0325 into 10 to the power minus 3 moles. Okay. Calculate the amount in moles of barium chloride in 250 cm cube of solution A. Okay. Makes sense now. According to the equation, silver nitrate and barium chloride has a ratio of 2:1. When we have 1.0325 into 10 to the power minus 3 moles, obviously the moles of barium chloride in 20 cm cube is going to be how much? 5.16. 5.1625 into 10 to the power minus 4 moles. मुझे कैसे पता चला these moles exist in 20 cm cube? Because हमने इस 250 से 20 cm cube determine किया था. So when we have moles in 20 cm cube, I need to compare those moles with 250 also. Okay. So let me get that. 20 cm cube of solution contain 5.1625 into 10 to the power minus 4 moles. So in 250 cm cube, how much amount we have of barium chloride into 250 divided by 20? So it's going to be 6.453 into 10 to the power minus 3 moles. And that's the answer for amount of barium chloride. Okay. Let me recheck my values. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 1.0325 exponent minus 3 divided by 2, I'll get 5.1625 into 10 to the power minus 4 into 6.25. I don't know मैंने क्या किया. Hold on. 5.1625 exponent minus 4 into 250 divided by 20. I'm getting this answer. Okay. Let me check. Hold on. 5.1625 exponent minus 4 into 20 divided by 250. No, I was right. I'm right. Okay. I think I've done the correct calculation. Let me check. 0.05 into 20.65 divided by 1000. So 1.0325 divided by 2, 1.6 into 250 divided by 20. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So we know the moles of barium chloride and we know the mass of barium chloride, which is 1.58. Okay. So using these two values, I can find the MR of barium chloride. Mass is 1.58 divided by 6.453 into 10 to the power minus 3. So the MR is going to be 1.58 divided by answer 244.8. Okay. So barium chloride dot XH2O equals to 244.8. Barium has a mass of 137 plus chlorine has a mass of 35.5 into 2 plus 18x plus x dot XH2O equals to 244.8. So 137 plus 71, 208. So mass of water is basically 244.8 minus 208. So it's basically 36.8 to get the moles of water. It should be divided by 18 because 18 is the MR. So it's going to be 2. So the value of X is basically 2.0. So barium chloride has a crystallization of 2. Okay. I hope it makes sense to you. Okay. Last part of this question, I believe. Yeah, last part of this question. Oh my goodness. Another student uses a different experimental method. What could be the different experimental method to check the value of X obtained by the method described in B? Your description needs to be brief and not involving titration. But that could be used to determine the value of X in the formula. So different experimental method could be determination of water of crystallization by heating to constant mass. And that's what you have done in O-level ATP, okay? And in AS practical also. So in order to write a plan, I need to consider this experiment. And for that, I'm going to use appropriate apparatuses and the method which we can use to measure the value of X. Okay. We have very limited sort of a space. An examiner need a very brief description. Heat a dry empty crucible and let and then cool it in a desiccator in a desiccator and then weigh an empty crucible plus lead by using electronic balance. Next point, place approximately 1 to 2 gram of hydrated barium chloride into the crucible and reweigh and then, oh my goodness, and then weigh the crucible plus lead plus hydrated salt this will give you mass of hydrated salt. Next, place a crucible on a pipe plate triangle पाइप प्लेट ट्राइंगल जो है वो स्ट्रॉन्ग हीटिंग के लिए यूज किया जाता है अदरवाइज अगर नॉर्मल और माइल्ड हीटिंग होती है तो हम वायर गॉज यूज कर लेते हैं ओके बट जब क्रूसिबल यूज करते हैं तो पाइप प्लेट ट्राइंगल यूज किया जाता है बिकॉज क्रूसिबल रिक्वायर स्ट्रॉन्ग हीटिंग बिकॉज वी नीड टू रिमूव वाटर ऑफ क्रिस्टलाइजेशन ऑलराइट over a Bunsen burner and then heat it strongly until the solid appears fully dry. Allow the crucible to cool. In desiccator, and then weigh it accurately the mass of anhydrous barium chloride. Now the next is repeat the experiment. until a constant mass is observed. Oh. So examiner is looking for the measurement. So let me write the measurement here. Mass of empty crucible plus lid in gram, then mass of crucible plus lead plus hydrated salt before heating has to be in gram, then mass of crucible plus lead plus salt after heating in gram. Okay. I have already mentioned in my plan that how much and what sort of apparatuses I have used in this hole, but and I think it's more than enough. अच्छा वैसे एग्जामिनर इसमें कैलकुलेशन नहीं पूछा, लेकिन लेट्स सपोज अगर इसमें एक बुलेट पॉइंट कैलकुलेशन का भी होता है यहाँ पर कि शो द कैलकुलेशन, तो फिर क्या करते? सो पूछ नहीं रहे वो, लेकिन यार अगर कैलकुलेशन पूछ ली तो फिर हमें बताना तो पड़ेगा ना। हो सकता है हमारे वाले पेपर में कैलकुलेशन भी ऐड कर दे, मेजरमेंट हटा दे, कैलकुलेशन ऐड कर दे, फिर क्या होगा? सो लेट्स टॉक अबाउट द कैलकुलेशन। अगर कैलकुलेशन पूछ ले फॉर इंस्टेंस, देन what is going to be the most appropriate way for writing such steps? So first of all, I need to find the mass of water lost. और मास ऑफ वाटर लॉस्ट के लिए मैं क्या करूंगा? मास ऑफ क्रूसिबल प्लस लिड प्लस हाइड्रेट माइनस मास ऑफ क्रूसिबल प्लस लिड प्लस एनहाइड्रेट, दोनों को सब्ट्रैक्ट करूंगा तो आई गेट द mass of water lost. I mean, this is A. Let's suppose this is A, and let's suppose this is B. So I need to subtract B minus A. All right. And let's suppose this is C. So mass of water lost. Next is mass of barium chloride. And for that, I'm going to subtract B minus C. Obviously, it has to be in gram. It has to be in gram, okay? So when I'll subtract these two values, I'll get mass of barium chloride. Next step is find moles of water. And last is find moles of barium chloride. Okay. So to get the value of N, I need to take the ratio of moles of water over moles of barium chloride. In other words, you can say when, in other words, I will get the moles of water, I will get the moles of barium chloride. So from these two moles, I'll get the simplest ratio by using the empirical formula. So this is the empirical formula ratio, okay? So I'll get the value of m. I hope it makes sense to you. That's the end of question number 1. I'll start question number 2 right after 2 minutes break, okay? All right, everyone. Let's move on to the question number 2. Before the break. Oh my goodness. Okay, effusion is opposite of diffusion, all right? Uh, and also effusion is basically not the part of the syllabus, but examiner has clearly written in the syllabus that for P5, examiner can go beyond the scope of the syllabus, okay? So effusion is the opposite of diffusion, and it's a very simple format. So effusion is a process in which gas escapes through a small hole. Okay, so effusion, gas escape from a small hole. A student investigates the relationship between rate of effusion and relative molecular mass of the gas. In O-level chemistry, you have learned rate of diffusion with respect to relative molecular mass. So examiner is looking for rate of effusion versus molecular mass. And that's the simple sort of apparatus examiner has shown us. So that's the plunger, which is a movable part. That's gas range. And obviously, it should have some sort of gas. This is three-way tap. This is a side arm. This is aluminum foil with a small hole. And this hole is used uh, for the gas escaping, okay? So gas will escape from this hole, okay? The following method is used. Turn the tap, turn the tap and remove any gas from the syringe through the side arm tube by pushing the plunger, okay? Okay. So when I'm pushing the plunger, technically, I'm applying a pressure. Got it? खुद ब खुद तो नहीं हो सकता ना यार. We must give some sort of pressure so that we can push the plunger. Then add 50 cm cube of a gas being tested to the syringe through the side arm tube, okay? So आपने यहाँ से 50 cm cube of gas side arm से syringe में add की and then remove the gas from the syringe through the side arm tube by pushing the plunger again. हैं? What is this behavior examiner? पहले 50 cm cube इंट्रोड्यूस की फिर उस गैस को बाहर निकाल दिया. ओके एंड देन add 70 cm cube of gas being tested to the syringe through the sidearm tube. Oh my goodness. Okay, so first of all, examiner has introduced 50 cm cube into the syringe. Then later on, he has removed that gas from the syringe. And then again, he's adding 70 cm cube so that we can perform the experiment. तो remove क्यों कर रहे हैं? Now the question is, why the examiner is removing the gas again? Why? Why we need to remove the gas? We need to remove the gas so that no other gas will remain in the syringe. Or we can write to avoid any interference with this 70 cm cube of gas. That's tricky. This part is tricky. Okay. Turn the tap to connect the syringe to the tube with the aluminum foil and a small hole. And this small hole is used for the effusion purpose. Allow the syringe plunger to fall and start a timer when the volume of gas in the syringe reaches 60. So from 70 to 60. Okay. And then stop the timer when the volume of gas in the syringe reaches to 10. Oh my goodness. So the volume of gas technically used is 50 cm cube in this experiment. 60 minus 10, that is 50 cm cube. Repeat step 1 to 7 with different gases. Okay. Okay. Different gases. Okay. Different gases. Okay. और कुछ मुझे इसमें से yes, one more thing. We need to start the timer by using the stopwatch. All right. So I'm going to use a stopwatch in this case. So we need to be very, very careful while measuring the time from the stopwatch. And this time can give you some sort of inappropriate readings also that will lead to the anomalous point. Okay. Okay. Chale, let's move on to the next page. That's the whole thing. Small hole, small hole, small hole. Oh, another thing. See, guys, I was thinking I'm missing something. When we repeat the experiment with different gases, so we need to make sure that this hole will remain same with the same size. Pinhole size will remain same. Hole size needs to be same for all gases. That's a very crucial point. अगर आप इसका साइज डिफरेंट कर देंगे हर गैस के लिए तो जाहिर सी बात है रेट ऑफ इफ्यूजन का फेयर कंपैरिजन तो नहीं मिलेगा और रेट ऑफ इफ्यूजन का फेयर कंपैरिजन तो नहीं मिलेगा सो फॉर अ फेयर कंपैरिजन द होल नीड्स टू बी needs has to be the same size for all the gases. Yes. Okay, let's move on to the next. Any other thing which I can link to the explanation? Okay. Next page. Oh my goodness. Suggest why the student adds 50 cm cube of gas being tested to the syringe in step 2 and then removes this gas to avoid remove any other gas from the syringe. Could be air, could be any other gas. Okay. The students' results are shown in table 2.1. So the molar mass of few gases is given. So we need to determine 1 upon m, under root 1 upon m. So 1 divided by under root 2, it's 0.707. Okay. Then 1 divided by under root, sorry, 1 under root 1 upon 4. So it's going to be 0.5. And obviously it has to be 0, 0 because of this reading. Then under root 1 divided by 20.2. So it's going to be 0.22249. So I'm going to write 0.222. Then under root 1 divided by 39.9. So it's going to be 0.1583. So I'm going to write 0.158. then under root 1 divided by 83.8, 0.1092. Yeah, 0.109239. So I'm going to write 0.109. Okay. So the time taken um, is given by the examiner. So we need to find the rate of effusion, and for rate of effusion, we need to use this formula. So remember, the volume of gas was 50 cm cube, and we know the time. So let's divide these values, this value from this, so I'll get the time, rate of, divide 50 cm cube from time, so we'll get the rate of effusion. So it's basically 50 divided by 10.8, so it's going to be 4.629. So I'm going to write 4.63. Then 50 divided by 15.3, I'm going to write 3.27. Then 50 divided by 34.5, I'm going to write 1.45. Then 50 divided by 39.7, so I'm going to write 1.26. And then 0.71. Okay. Whew. So I'm done with the first part. Give the value of 1 upon m to 3 significant figures. So I'm going to use 3 sig fig for this. So that we'll get the fair and a correct comparison of the values of rate of effusion versus 1 over m. And 2 decimal places for rate of effusion. Okay. Next is identify the dependent variable. Guys, I've told you so many times that dependent variable is basically what we measure. What we measure is basically rate of effusion, right? By using this formula. So from my conceptual analysis, it has to be rate of effusion. But obviously, we have determined the time also by using the stopwatch. So I can write time also. Okay. But from my knowledge, I think rate of effusion would be the most desirable answer, most powerful answer as compared to time. But I've written it both because हम दोनों ही calculate कर रहे हैं. Identify a variable other than temperature that is controlled when carrying out this experiment. So size of the pinhole. Let me check. Size of the hole. Size of the hole, or obviously we were applying pressure on the syringe. So this pressure needs to be same for all the gases. So this could be the right answer also. Same pressure on the plunger. Okay. Plot a grid. My goodness. On figure 2.2 to show the relationship between rate of effusion. Use cross, draw a suitable line of best fit. Okay. Examiner is looking for the line of best fit. Okay. Thank you, examiner. So let me collect the data from here. Oops. I need this data only because I need these two values. So I'll take the screenshot instead of copying this stuff. Now I'm gonna put this data here. Okay, thank you. Thank you for your attention to this matter, guys. All right. So rate of effusion 4.633, 3.2, 1.4. Okay. So what we have in this, basically we have y-axis. Y-axis is basically 1 and 0.5. So it's 0.5 divided by this. So it's going to be 0.05. So one small division, the one small box equals to 0.05. Okay. So if it is 1.6, it's going to be 1.5. So it has to be 1.6. It has to be 1.7, 1.8, 1.9, and then 2. Okay. Oh my goodness, I have to. This is 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and then 1.4. Okay. This is 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, and then 1. Let me write the entire value so that I can make the graph, because it's very, very tough for me to make a graph. नहीं रीड होते बेटे मुझसे इतने स्मॉल बॉक्सेस छोटे छोटे 2.1 2.2 my goodness that's bad 2.3 and then 2.4 then 2.6 my goodness 2.7 2.8 oh my goodness this is 2.9 कहाँ तक जा रहा है भाई 4.6 तक जाना है अल्लाह पर ओके अभी आगे भी जाना है this is going to be 3.1 3.2 3.3 3.4 and then 3.5 then 3.6 3.7 3.8 3.9 and then 4 this is 4.1 4.2 4.3 4.4 and then 4.5 4.6 4.7 and then 4.8 okay my goodness Whew. 1 upon m so on the y-axis we have one small division equals to 0.05 but on x-axis we have one small division or one small box equals to 0.01 0.2 minus 0.1 0.2 minus 0.1 is 0.1 divided by 10 so it's going to be 0.01 okay so 0.1 plus 0.01 we are 1.1 plus 0.01 this is 0.12 that's very tough ये तो लिखना ही मुश्किल हो जाएगा मेरे लिए okay this is 0.12 0.14 0.14 plus 0.01 okay this is 0.15 this is 0.25 I believe ऐसा ही होगा this is 0.35 0.45 0.55 0.6 0.65 0.7, and then 0.75, and then 8. Okay, cool. Let me draw the point. So the first point is 0.707 and 4.63, 4.63 and 0.707, 0.707, 0.707, 707. कहाँ जाएगा 0.707? 707. So technically it's 4.63. Somewhere here, very close to 0.7 and 0.7 and 4.63, very close, because I'm not getting the exact values. Okay, then 0.5. Okay, and then we have a value of 3.27, 5, 3.27, 8765. This one, 3.27, 3.27. Very close to this. Very. It's very tough. Very tough. Okay, hold on. Hold on. 3.27. 3.27. Somewhere around here. Okay. Very tough. 0.5 and then 0.222. 0.222. 0.2 plus 0.01 plus 0.01. So 0.222. This is 0.222. And we have how much? 1.45. 1.45. Somewhere around here. Okay. ये nearest ही बन रही है, exact नहीं बन सकते. 1.26, 0.158, 0.158, 0.158 is basically 0.15 plus 0.01, 0.158, 15, and we have how much? Okay. And we have how much? 1.26. Oh my goodness, this one. Okay. Not this one. Somewhat here. Okay. Last 0.71. Last here. 0.109. Somewhere around here. Okay. Thank you very much. Let me sketch this. It's kind of weird. बेटा ये बहुत weird बना होगा, to be very honest, because exact नहीं बनाए, but I'm sure जब आप लोग बनाएंगे तो exact ही बनाएंगे. I have a doubt on this. I think ये 0.71 or 0.1. ये यहाँ पर I think so it has to be somewhat here. 0.7 1 0.7 1. Yeah, this one. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. And the value is 0.109. 0.11. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's fine now. Okay. So that's the answer, guys. ये बेटा मैंने बेस्ट करके दिखाया आपको बिकॉज इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर मी टू रीड सच स्मॉल बॉक्सेस बट दैट्स द बेस्ट शॉट आई कैन गिव यू राइट. तो अगर इसमें कोई कमी बेशी आपको फील हो तो यू कैन कंपनसेट एट योर ओन. लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट पार्ट ऑफ द पेपर. आई एम इन क्वेश्चन. Circle one point on the graph in figure 2.2 which you consider to be most anomalous. Suggest one reason for this anomaly. Assume there is no error in this calculation. Okay. So one point of the graph in 2.0, that is the anomalous point because ये सबसे ज्यादा दूर है plan of best fit से. Anomalous point. Okay. So I did that. Reason for this anomaly. So rate of effusion is greater than expected. होना यहाँ चाहिए था, है यहाँ पर. So the rate of effusion is greater than expected. Why? Because अगर rate of effusion ज़्यादा है तो time taken जो है वो कम होगा. तो हमने time जो है वो सही तरह से measure नहीं किया stopwatch से. सही है? We didn't measure the time accurately. All right. I think that's the only appropriate. Okay, that's the only thing. Rate of effusion is higher than expected. That's the only thing I can think about. The rate, the rate of effusion is greater than expected because if time is recorded short, too short, calculated rate must be higher. और ये चीज मैंने डिटरमाइन कैसे की? इस फॉर्मूले से की, क्योंकि इन दोनों के दरमियान इनवर्स रिलेशनशिप है. अगर इसका टाइम शॉर्ट है तो रेट ऑफ डिफ्यूजन ज्यादा आ जाएगा आपके पास. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट इज Graham's law of effusion can be expressed as this much. State whether or not the student results support Graham's law of diffusion. Explain your answer. It support. Graham's law of effusion because it is a straight line and passing through the origin. So that's the statement. Okay. Suggest how the position of the plotted points relative to the line of best fit related to the reliability of the results. It is not reliable due to anomalous point. अच्छा, पुराने पेपर्स में पता है क्या होता था, जो मुझे ज्यादा बेहतर लगता है, अगर आपके पास 1 2 3 4 4 5 पॉइंट्स हैं और 5 में से 4 जो है वो लाइन ऑफ बेस्ट फिट पे हो गए, तो प्रीवियस पेपर्स के अंदर एग्जामिनर इसको रिलायबिलिटी कंसिडर कर लिया करते थे, कह दिया करते थे कि भाई ये रिलायबल एक्सपेरिमेंट है, बिकॉज मोस्ट ऑफ द पॉइंट्स लाई ऑन द लाइन ऑफ बेस्ट फिट. बट सिंस, और उस वक्त भी एक आध अनोमलस पॉइंट होता था हमारे पास, लेकिन हम मेजोरिटी को कंसिडर करते थे. बट एग्जामिनर अब मेजोरिटी को कंसिडर ही नहीं करते, वो कहते हैं अनोमलस आ गया तो इसका मतलब रिलायबल नहीं है. दैट्स स्ट्रेंज एक्चुअली. Anyway, let's move on to the next part. The student then repeats this method to determine the value of M sample of a natural gas. The time recorded in step 7 is 31.6 seconds. Very, very important, guys. In step 7, the volume of gas used was 50 cm cube, if you remember. Right? So, rate of effusion depends on volume of gas over time taken. And the volume of gas in step 7 was 50 cm cube divided by 31.6 seconds. So it's going to be how much? 50 divided by 31.6 seconds. So it's going to be 1.58 centimeter second inverse, right? That's the rate of effusion. And we need to find out the value. So मैं 1.58 पे जाऊंगा. Okay. क्या कह रहे हैं एग्जामिनर? Use the graph. See, वो कह रहे हैं use the graph in figure 2.2 and the student results. Calculate the value of M for the sample. So मैं इस वैल्यू को यूज करूंगा ग्राफ पे 1.58. 1.58. So that's the value I believe here. Okay. So that's the value of 1.58. Let me count the values. 0.2. Hold on. 0.25. 0.25 plus 0.01. 0.26 plus 0.01. 0.27. Hold on. ये क्या बदतमीजी है, क्या हो रहा है? Hold on. 0.2 plus 0.01. 0.21. 0.22, 0.23, 0.24, and that's 0.245. Yeah, that's 0.245 roughly. 0.245. 0.245 plus 0.01. 0.255. Yeah. Hold on. 0.244 plus 0.01. I think it's 0.244 instead of 45. To be very, very exact, it has to be 0.244. Okay. My goodness. Okay. So 1 over m is basically 0.244. So let me use this value. So 1 upon under root m is equals to 0.244. Take the under root. So it's going to be 1 upon m equals to 0.244 ka square. So 0.244 ka square is going to be 0.0595. So 1 upon m equals to 0.0595. So to calculate the value of m, it's going to be 1 upon 0.0595. So 1 divided by this, it's going to be 16.79. 16.8. Hold on. Okay. 16.796. So it's going to be 16.8. Okay. I hope it makes sense to you. Natural gas is a mixture of mainly methane, and methane has an MR of 16. We know that. And the MR using this value have been calculated as 16.8. Okay. With a small amount of other gases. Suggest what your calculated value of M of natural gas in G part 1 tells you about the other gases in the mixture. Since the MR is greater than the calculated MR is greater than the given MR, which means methane contain heavier gases also in a very small amount, like ethane or propane. So what we can write here is calculated value is slightly higher. Therefore, natural gas contain a small amount of heavier gases like ethane or propane. ओके अच्छा एक चीज और ये तो मैंने कैलकुलेशन की है ना हो सकता है किसी बच्चे का आंसर 16 से कम हो जाए यानी इस एमआर से कम हो जाए तो अगर 16 से कम होगा तो इसका मतलब जो नेचुरल गैस है उसके अंदर स्मॉल अमाउंट ऑफ लाइटर गैसेस होंगी लाइक हीलियम और हाइड्रोजन ओके इन दैट केस आपने इस तरह से रखना है आंसर ठीक है जनाब okay that's the thing I think we talk about okay that's not the end oh that's the last part of the code oh my goodness the experiment described in G is repeated at high temperature show the rate of effusion for this sample of natural gas would change if at all explain your answer rate of effusion increases all right why because at high temperature kinetic energy increases movement of molecule increases, so particles will move quickly. Okay, that's the end of this question paper. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Take care. Bye bye.